Hello YouTube. So the chances are if you clicked on this video, you are either already addicted to weed or you're exposed to weed consumption and you thought about limiting it. So I want to just give you a few encouraging words that I wish someone would have given to me when I got addicted myself, in my early 20s to weed. And the way weed addiction happened to me, which it was actually very accidental, something I never expected, and something that I really regret, of course, doing. However, you know I consider weed as an extremely addictive substance, and something you probably can share your stories in the comments. I've encountered so many people throughout my life who are functioning individuals. Some of them are really smart and successful individuals, but they go throughout life being addicted to weed, and they all claim that the substance is not addictive. So something that really defines logic, because for many people, weed becomes this sort of substance that manages their nervous system. Because what weed does to so many people eventually, it just kind of um, um, just eases the suffering of existence. It can also, for many people, temporarily get rid of like a certain mental conditions that you have, which you probably don't know that you have. But when you just smoke weed or just consume it, you just feel that the life is way much more bearable than in a non-intoxicated state, so to speak. And this is something that the first reason I would say why you should really either never smoke weed or do it very consciously is the fact that it's notoriously addictive, no matter how your peers or people in your company frame it. I mean, it is very addictive substance, and you should really treat it with utmost care and just consideration. And the second reason why you should really be very considerate with weed is because it's something that has a detrimental impact on you only in a very long-term process. Or in other words, you actually notice that weed harms you only after years or months of consuming it. So it's something that being very addictive, it creeps into your daily existence, and then you don't really feel that it's something that is really detrimental to you, because many people can still function, or many people can still do their daily tasks uh, sort of normally, even consuming weed, right? And you probably have specific characters in your own mind, because it's something that I think is very universal in a way, that there are so many people who consume weed on a daily basis or almost daily basis, and you see the results, the harmful impact from weed only after months of consumption. And once you see the harmful impact from smoking weed, you're already addicted, and getting off this addiction it becomes a struggle in itself. So it's something that I feel a lot of people um, struggling, because they want to stop consuming weed, but since they've been doing it for so long, and even if they see those detrimental impacts, it's not easy to do. And it's something, of course, there's also like a um, something that you wouldn't go and ask your peers or your family to help you with the process. Um, so you go back into the state of just consuming it. Um, and this is also one of the reasons why you need to think very consciously about its consumption, and certainly understand that if you find yourself months into consuming it, and you start seeing detrimental impacts, and eventually I mean, if you are a self-aware person and if you've been consuming weed for some time, I mean, at a certain point, you would notice the detriment that it made to you. So, and let me just maybe talk about the detrimental effects and what exactly weed does to you. And I think the most important thing the most negative thing that it does, it literally kills you. And what I mean by that, it kills like this energetic force that we are all born with, like to do something, to pursue something, to be motivated. Because in a certain way, we just replaces all of that with just this state of satisfaction, something that you think your life actually is bearable, even if without it it's pure suffering. So kind of like it tricks you into thinking that you can just prolong the status quo of your life without implementing any changes. And when years pass by and you basically see the negative effects of that, it becomes really sad how in a long-term process it can destroy your life or impact you negatively. Um, and again, so those were my kind of reasons. And with this video, I just wanted to bring this into your attention and just kind of through my personal experience to kind of motivate you to really really stop consuming weed, or at least be very very conscious and very aware about detrimental impacts. Because you see, I think in general, if you think about society, became notorious. We became just, or is becoming normalized in most Western countries, and it's something that we should think about to what extent the decades of weed consumption, of normalized weed consumption, lead to a large scale, actually detrimental impacts in society. And this is something I think about because I made a conscious decision to stop consuming weed like 4 years ago. It's something important to keep in mind. Once you can set this goal to stop consumption, um, it's not something that will happen in one day. Unfortunately, you will probably have some relapses, or you'll have a very strong moments of weakness when you either want to go back to consumption, or you kind of reignite this consumption by being in contact with people with whom you did this previously. And you need to keep this goal in your horizon, so to speak, and then just set it as a very important goal for you, because there will be setbacks in this journey. But once the time passes by, and you would start noticing how you come back to the state, or how your true self comes, that was kind of completely ruined by this years or months of consumption, so to speak. So it's something I think it's very important to understand in this process. So just if you have your own experience, if you have any thoughts about this topic, please share in the comments, and just address any issues that you want. Like this video if you find it helpful for you, and if you find like those personal stories can help you in your process and motivate you to become a better individual. And subscribe to my channel, and I see you in the next one. Peace.